Hi, welcome everyone to our Light the Torch ceremony. My name is Adriana Luna Carlos, and I'm one of the founders of She Rises Studios. Today is a very exciting day because we have the ebook launch of our latest book called Introverted Women Leaders, 5 innovative stories on how to lead as a quote unquote quiet woman. I'm joined here today with some of our fellow authors in the book. This book is really amazing because it provides, obviously 5 unique stories filled with practical advice and tips on how to lead as an introverted woman. So we really want you to get ready to unleash your inner leader and join us for this Light the Torch ceremony. So welcome, ladies, and congratulations. How are you all feeling and doing today so far?
Super.
Woohoo.
Wonderful. Excited to be here.
Well, look, we'll go around the room. We'll give everyone a chance to kind of introduce themselves, where you're from, and what industry line of work you're in. Because I feel like that's an important topic in today about introverted women leaders. Because we're in all the different industries, and yet sometimes we're not really known or seen or heard as leaders within these industries. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Stacy. If you want to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and what industry you're in.
Hi, I'm Stacy Dornfeld, and I'm in a couple of industries. I volunteer for a national organization of 300,000 women, and I teach other women how to advocate for various issues like human trafficking and hate. And, we fight against all forms of hate. U.S. Israel medical partnerships, things like that. So I do a lot of advocating. I also run a law firm, so I'm pretty busy there, taking care of the whole staff and doing all the HR, and that's my role.
Love
All
it.
the fun
Thank you
stuff.
so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's amazing because again, the stereotypes that go into being an introvert. So we'll go into that. Michelle, can you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from and what industry you're in.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Michelle Bell. I am in the marketing industry. I live in San Diego. I run 2 companies and I'm starting up a nonprofit. So, kind of busy,
Awesome.
I guess, but enjoy absolutely everything I do and love being in this group.
Well, congratulations. I know nonprofits they're very difficult to start up, and
It is, but it is something I've always wanted to do. Like, from the start of my actual business, I've wanted to have that arm of the business that was nonprofit that helped other women get started. And I'm finally at a point of being able to do it. And it's just so awesome.
It is. That's great. Congratulations again. And I'm going to pass it over to Angela Bell.
Hi, good morning. My name is Angela Bell. I am the founder of the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur. I'm a mompreneur success coach and women's wealth advocate. I'm also the director of communications at She Rises Studios. Yay! And yeah, I have I'm an international bestselling author, and I have an anthology series as well called Mom Magic. So I'm very, very excited to be here. I think because I loved the idea of sharing the superpowers of introverted women leaders.
Yeah, I think an important next question to each of you is, when you heard the book title, was it something that you quickly identified with, or was it something you're kind of questioning? Are these things that we think about consciously day to day? So I don't know who wants to chime in first, but you want to go, Angela?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, for me, it was something I identified with right away. First and foremost, probably because it was something that I'd struggled with for so long in my life. So I grew up with my dad, who was my mentor, my, example, was very charismatic, very extroverted. And I always heard, oh, you're so much like your dad, you're so much like your dad. But I'm an introvert. I prefer to think, and I need alone time to recover. And I don't talk a lot in big groups because I observe and I process and I take it all in. And so for me, there was always this conflict that I wasn't something I was supposed to be. And it took me a long time to really not only accept, but love and appreciate and really value my own personal way of doing things. And so when I saw the title of the book, I was like, yes, that's me. That is exactly me. And I really appreciate that more people are going to, know and understand that, you don't have to be an extrovert. You can be whatever type of person you want to be and still be, a powerhouse in your own way, in a way that works for you. So, yeah.
Love it. And then what's the title of your chapter?
The title of my chapter is Creating and Leading from a Place of Quiet.
Love it. And then how about you, Stacey? Was this book something that you immediately gravitated to, questioned?
I did. I questioned it. At first, I questioned the title because I didn't really consider myself an introvert. I always want to be that extroverted person, that one that's got all that energy, the powerhouse. And so I at first had to really think about it. And I had a couple conversations in my head, and I realized that I am very introverted, but what I do is I push myself to go beyond that, my introvertedness. So I made up a name for it. I'm an extrovert at times, and I'm introvert. So I'm at, what did I call myself? An extra, I don't know. I can't think of the name right now. It's in the chapter, but like I'm a dual person when it comes to things like that. And for me, I think that it's my insecurities, my fear that I thought made me an introvert. And I still carry those fears and insecurities with me, but what I've learned to do is harness them, and I use them to push me forward out of that shell, so that I'm not hiding away, because that's what I did for quite some time.
And then do you remember your chapter title?
Yes, it's You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
Love it. Michelle, how about you? Can you tell us your take on the book title initially and kind of your feel of it?
So I was conflicted at first, but it's mainly not because of the title, but just because I live in such a duality. I'm a Gemini. It's everything. There's always two sides of everything, and it takes me minutes, hours to make decisions because I can see both sides of that coin. So am I an extrovert or am I an introvert? Well, wait a minute, you can be both, right? It's true. And so then when I kind of like came to that conclusion of like, okay, this is just another space of duality, and it's okay, and maybe more people feel like that. Yeah, I totally want to do this book. So my title is I'm an Introvert, What's Your Superpower? Because I think there is amazing power in either direction, right? Whatever you are, take it, own it, and make the most of it.
Agreed. I love that. When I saw that it says, what's your superpower? I was like, there we go. Embracing, who you are, what you do, how you use what you have within yourself to have success, because we're all here today because we've done something with our introversion, so to speak. And I think closer to Angela, it's just always been who I was. And I had been surrounded by extroverts, more so with friends. I think my family, for the most part, on my dad's side, I would definitely say that most of them are introverts, except for my dad. He's definitely an extrovert, but sometimes you evolve. So you're sometimes when you're younger, a lot more quieter. And I know he's shared a lot of stories about how when he was a kid, he was afraid of public speaking. And then it took this one course in college where, like, if you don't come up to the class and do your, because he said he always used to get out of his public speaking or presentations in high school, but there was this teacher in college that just would not let him get away with it. So he had to overcome that fear, go up there, and then once he kind of got over it, he's a gabber. So he's always talking to people. We go to the stores. He's that person that's starting those conversations. And it's really funny because for me, I'm not really like that. I can be, so I confuse my friends because out of my friend group, I'm the louder one, which is really funny because of my family. It's kind of the opposite. So it's definitely been interesting. And I really liked that part in the title where I put quote unquote quiet, because not all introverted women are quiet. It's a misconception. You don't have to be the quiet one to be considered an introvert. So my chapter title in the book is called Breaking the Stereotype. I go over 10 specific stereotypes that I kind of notice are spoken on a lot, and I really wanted to break it down so people can understand that these are not typical norms, nor that do they need to be, and nor do you need to accept them. And so I found this book a lot of fun. I loved all of your chapters. It was very exciting. I do want to ask to each of you, what does being an introverted women leader mean to you? So I don't know who wants to go first on that one. See, we're all introverts. No one wants to go first.
I'll go first. Yeah, we're all waiting. Where's the extrovert that's going to say Mimi? I'll go first. So for me, first, I just want to say I love that you tackled the myths, because I, for one, love public speaking. Love it. I would rather speak to a room of 10,000 people than have small talk with someone. Small talk makes me uncomfortable, right? I'll go deep, but I don't want to talk about the weather. I know what the weather is. It's fine, right? And I'm comfortable with silence. But so for me, being an introverted women leader really means creating space and standing in my own power, and not doing things the way other people need them done just so that I fit in. I like the way I do things. I like my method. I'm very observant. I'm more inclined to stand and observe a group of people for a solid 20 minutes before ever engaging and adding my points. But I also, during that observation, look for the best in everyone. And so when I come to the conversation, I come with, these, great opinions of everybody that's talking, because I've just spent 20 minutes looking for, what's great about them. And it's just, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to quantify. I thought I had a great answer. Sorry, guys. In my mind, there was one, and now it's gone. But I don't feel like I need to be loud to be understood. I don't feel like I need to control the conversation to still steer it in a direction that I want it to go. And while I can be the life of the party, while I can be the dominant person and presence in the room, I will need time to recover from that. I will need time to sit and process and regain my energy after that. I think it's, I think there's a strength in leading from a people-centered place where you actually hear people and listen and consider, as opposed to single-mindedly driving ahead with, this is how it's going to be because this is my way.
Yeah. Love it. How about you, Stacey? What do you feel that is for you?
I think for me, being an introverted leader and recognizing it is that for me, it's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to be intimidated, but I can actively face my fears and move forward. And as with you, Angela, I would rather speak in front of a big group than have small talk. I don't like small talk. I get nervous because I don't know what to say. I don't like asking you about the weather. I can't do it. I honestly, it's like, stick a needle in my eye kind of a thing. I feel like moving forward when I'm nervous is a way how I break through my introversion. And the word I came up with in my chapter, which I recall now, it was bivertism. So I can be an extrovert and introvert at times, and I'm bivertism disorder. And I feel like as an introvert, extrovert, I'm just like a work in progress, and I'm gonna just always embrace opportunities and just allow myself to be. And I think that's the biggest lesson for me as an introverted leader, is that I can be who I am and be in acceptance of that. And I can have my nerves, and I can be shy, and I can observe, and I can be quiet, and I could still be this amazing, fantastic leader that people look up to. And the journey that I'm on is like welcome to bring people along with me. You know, it's fascinating. So I don't know. I think it's all great. So
I love
we're
that.
just on this wonderful thing called life.
And I have a side question, and maybe this is just something I've noticed, but with us being introverts, I've noticed a lot of times people gravitate towards us, and because we can be nervous and stuff like that, we're like, whoa, and we're not used to it, and we're like, what do we do with that? Like people being attracted to our personality types and just ready to, uh, have all these conversations, whether they're, small talk or not. What do we do with that? So it's like a ongoing battle sometimes of like, okay, so you do have to get comfortable because we're approachable, whether intentional or not. And so it's a funny thing that how we're attracted to. But I'm gonna go over to Michelle. What does being an introverted leader mean to you?
So, funny thing happened the other day, and I feel like I've unlocked a new level of introverted leader, and that's called fake it till you make it leader. Because I'm telling my daughter, she started a new school and she doesn't have any friends yet, and she's telling me she's lonely and she's upset and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, you just got to do this, just find a group of kids and like talk to them, and like I'm trying to help her, and she looks me straight in the face and goes, but I'm not like you. I can't just talk to people. I can't just make friends wherever I go. And I'm like, I didn't know I could do that either. I didn't know I did that. I didn't know that I was leading her to think that. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, okay. I guess I put on an exterior of extrovert as an introvert. But I had to explain to her it's like, that might be how it appears, but that's not how it is. I mean, I'm just as scared as you are. I get tired and anxious, my word, teranxious, about doing those things. And she's like, yeah, that sounds like a dinosaur. Yeah, Mom, that's you. Totally you. Right. So
Love that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that role of leader, it's just like everything else. It has duality. It changes in the situation. When I'm talking to my kid, it's completely different than when I'm working with my students in my marketing courses. And in that space, you think they're already leaders and because they're here and they want to build a business and they want to grow. But 80% of the time, we spend more time talking about how to people than we do how to market. How do you people effectively? How do you, take command of a room or show your authority without being teranxious, right?
Yeah.
So, Michelle, can I respond to that?
Absolutely.
It's something that I've learned over the years that's helped me because I am introverted with people. I force myself to walk up to people and shake their hand. It's the physical act to me of shaking someone's hand and saying, hello, I'm Stacy. It brings me out of my shell a little bit, and it allows me to, in a way, to become vulnerable and just say, hi, here I am. And when I do that, something magical happens inside. And the nervous energy that I had to go and say hello and introduce myself, it kind of goes away when that person responds, and then they're happy to meet me.
Yeah, I can see why that funny. Would be. Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
No, she hit right there on my number one fear. Like my biggest problem with any kind of environment speaking, just being in a room of people, is actually introducing myself. I talked about it in my chapters. Like, I've been Michelle Bell my whole life, and yet saying, hi, I'm Michelle is like the worst skill I have. It is the scariest skill to do. Yeah. And I do great if literally anyone else introduces me. I can take that control of that conversation instantly. But having to introduce myself is the worst.
Oh yeah, my stomach turned when Stacy said that's what she did. I was like, oh no.
It's hard. It's hard, but it's a way for me to break out of my shell.
No, I love it. I love it. I will try it. I will need a big internal pep talk before I do it, but I definitely will try it.
So I
Yeah.
learned something as an introvert, that before we have to speak, or when you have to go into a group and you're nervous, there's this, if you go into the restroom and stand by yourself in front of the mirror in a like a superwoman pose, you know, that Superman, but a superwoman pose like this, and take 5 or 6 deep breaths in the mirror, you know, in and out, you can kind of gain that that internal calm that you need to introduce yourself. And I do that. I practice that. It's I forgot what class it was. It was all about body, how your body shows people what you're really feeling. So if you just do that for a few times and take a couple deep breaths and then put your hand out, you could do it.
I've tried it. It does work. I will say it does work. Like, it's weird because you're like, what the heck am I doing? But then all of a sudden you just feel this, and it's almost like a confidence too. Yes, there's a definite calming, and then there's this confidence, but not like an overconfidence where like I'm gonna go and conquer everything. It's just like it's just enough to get you through. And then I've noticed that I get nervous right before, and then once you start, like I'll get nervous before these lives. And then as soon as we start talking, I'm like, okay, now I'm calm again. It's just weird. It's just these things where you don't know what to expect for yourself or of others. And just like, it's just because we think a lot. We overthink a lot. And we don't know what to do with all the thoughts sometimes. And it's like, you just got to break it down, slow it down. And it's just, I find being an introvert definitely a superpower. So I loved when Michelle has that as her title, because there's really a lot of strengths in being that introvert. And I think to extroverts, we're fascinating to them and vice versa, because we're so different. And although we can identify on certain levels with similarities, because it's still a large difference, like we do get exhausted after conversations. My husband's like, why are you so tired? All you did was go on the computer. I was like, yeah, but I talked to a lot of people in a day. I said, for me, that's a lot. He's like, yeah, that's true. Like, once you realize how many people you talk to in a day, it becomes overwhelming, even just thinking of that. And that, I know it's funny, but it's been an interesting book. I'm really excited for everyone to get their hands on it. So go to Amazon. It's only 99 cents. It's an awesome book, all these different perspectives. Alexis is another author within the book. She wasn't able to join us here today, but her chapter is also amazing. I want to thank you, ladies, so much for joining us here today. If you have any other things you want to share, go ahead and take the stage. Anybody? Michelle's thinking. She's like, what else?
I just want to say thank you for putting this together. I think that, you know, there's a lot of press and a lot out there about, you know, extroversion and charisma and all of this stuff. And so I appreciate you so much for putting this together and providing a platform for us to showcase the strengths of introverts and show, you know, the superpowers and just how the world needs both, right? The world doesn't, if we were all extroverts, we'd probably all be fighting all the time, because we need the introverts to kind of come in and calm the storm. But the world needs both, and introverts don't necessarily get the same press. And so thank you for putting this together so that we can show the benefits and the superpowers and the strengths in, you know, who may be the quieter people in the room.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that, because even just thinking of the concept made me nervous. But I was like, we're just going to power through the nervousness, ignore the thoughts, and just go and do. You know, that's the biggest thing. Is I've learned that the longer you wait to do something, that's more exhausting than if you were to just get started. I really just, I'm so over waiting for things to be done, and just like, let's just go do it. I don't have time for waiting. You know, we only have so much time in this world. So, but thank you all. Did anyone else have anything else they wanted to share before we headed out? Okay, well, go get your copy on Amazon. It's only 99 cents. Introverted Women Leaders. Thank you, ladies, so much, and have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.